Mikel Arteta, I love you. I absolutely love you. I love whatever you've done with Arsenal. But sometimes I don't understand you. The team had two changes from the team that played against Bilbao midweek, right? Mosquera went out, Saliba came in, Trossard came in for Eze. My first thoughts when I looked at this team was who is the creator here? Who is going to create opportunities here? Look, City had two losses. Arsenal had just one. Arsenal have conceded a single goal this season and conceded no goals at all from open play. The game was happening at Emirates. We were clearly favourites going into this match. This game really needed a passer in the final third. Look, I understand. Odegaard is injured. But we have Eberechi Eze now. This is exactly the kind of game we got him for. I would have understood if you had started this team in midweek, right, against Athletic Bilbao. Because away games, our strategy tends to be different. What we do is we absorb the opponent's energy for the first 20-30 minutes before we start imposing ourselves. Right? And the first 20-30 minutes, we can try and score through penalties. By penalties, I just mean corners. But this was a home game. We started attacking right from the start. And we needed a creator in this game. I hope this Merino stunt stops right here, man. But because if we have to get the best out of our attackers, we need an enabler on the pitch. The game started off well. We had a lot of possession. City were playing a high defense line, which meant we had to start taking risk. A word that I'm fairly certain falls under the category of foul language in Arteta's lexicon. We have more FA Cups than risks at this point. The game was going okay until this fucking disaster happened in the 9th minute. Quite unnecessarily, we poured about 5 men forward, did not achieve whatever it is we threw the 5 men forward for, ended up giving the ball to Haaland, who then set off reindeers. I mean, the minute I saw Haaland running back the way he did, I knew this was going to result at least in a chance. I mean, Gabriel and Zubimendi were not going to catch him. They were running like they already knew that. The only thing that could have changed is maybe Saliba and Timber could have drifted towards Haaland, exposing Doku. Because much rather Doku than Haaland, right? That didn't happen though, and at this point I was just hoping for a miracle from David Raya, man. He's produced a few of those. I was just hoping for another miracle. Can someone explain to me why we needed to put 5 of our players there to win the ball so high up? One of whom is our CDM. The other one is our centre back. And if we are putting 5 men in a situation like that, you bloody well make sure we do win the ball. For a team that prides itself of the kind of defensive solidarity that we've exhibited over the last 3 years, this was a rookie mistake, man. This was a rookie mistake. It almost felt like, Squillaci? Denilson? Is that you? After the goal came a period of complete frustration because Manchester City crowded the midfield, making a fair assumption that the only way that we could create opportunities is if we get Merino and Rice in dangerous areas of the pitch. And they were right. The only thing we kept doing is kept feeding Madueke, the Neo Saka, and hoping for the best. And I completely understand Madueke is in great form. But we equipped ourselves to do so much more through our exploits in the transfer window, man. One good idea would have been to feed Gyökeres and Trossard through a creative midfielder. Oh, right, we didn't start one. Madueke did attempt a shot, but you have to do so much more to get past this monster, this fucking lizard. I swear, if there is something racist I could tell right now about Donnarumma, I would go ahead and do it. If he was somewhere from the South American region, I would have gone with a taco, you know. But a arrabbiata doesn't exactly convey the point. You know what? Benito Mussolini. I hope he feels hurt. I hope he feels insulted. And then this happened in the 32nd minute of the match. Because this happened on the 2nd of February this year. Because this happened at Etihad last year. I love these moments in football. They always add a little bit of tension to everything. You could tell that Arteta was already thinking about changes because Eze and Saka were warming up in the 29th minute of the match. I mean, if Trossard drops back to create opportunities because he believes he's the most creative player on the pitch, we had to do something about it. Because Manchester City were crowding midfield. You know what it felt like? Whitefield traffic in Bangalore. They crowded midfield, not giving us any space. And what could we do about it? Right? The manner in which we reacted to that was maintaining an offside trap with the ball. It was sad. It was pathetic. At halftime, we brought in Eze and Saka for Merino and Madueke. Ouch. It was difficult for me to see Madueke go, but these exactly right here are the demands of the highest level of football. You could be our best player on the pitch on the day, but when you're competing with our best player over the last 3 seasons, you really need to start producing these magical moments. As soon as Saka came in the 47th minute, where he made a phenomenal cross with his weaker foot, that one moment justified the substitution. Like, I get it, Madueke is a lot faster than Saka, right? But Saka has a much better weaker foot. Madueke got in behind several times. Not once did he produce a cross of such quality. Which brings me to a very, very uncomfortable zone. Several crosses were thrown into the box yesterday. Gyökeres did not get to the end of even one such cross. Look, from whatever it is I've seen of Gyökeres, I cannot expect great passes from him. I cannot expect great hold-up play from him. What I really like about Gyökeres is his bullish advances towards these crosses or through balls. I get that the attack are still understanding each other, but Gyökeres really needs to start doing that, man. We can expect this much from him. We were attacking much better in the second half. Eze made this brilliant through ball to Timber, which then led to an opportunity. But as the game progressed, I noticed this. Did you ever, in your lifetime, think you would see Pep Guardiola's Manchester City park a fucking Volvo bus the way they did yesterday? I mean, if the mighty Manchester City, who depend entirely on their attack to win games, with 11 men on the pitch and 6 Premier League titles under Pep Guardiola, can do this, give me one good bloody reason why Mikel Arteta's Arsenal, with 10 men on the pitch because of a disaster of a decision, not do that at Etihad last season. The amount of shit that was floating around on the internet because we played the way we did that day. Oh my God. What did this rat face cunt Bernardo Silva say that day? He positioned himself in exactly the asshole of that bus today. At one point, this is what it looked like. We fed our wingers. We threw in as many crosses. We won many corners. None of it seemed to work. And then Mikel Arteta brought on Gabriel Martinelli for Timber. At first, I was skeptical because Martinelli is very, very effective against high defensive lines. And with Manchester City playing the lowest possible block that day, I didn't see how anything could happen that day. Right? It took a mistake from Manchester City, and exactly that happened. A small moment, a small window meant a fantastic pass met with a fantastic run and a brilliant finish. Martinelli, I love you so much, man. I have missed you for so long. Martinelli had a brilliant campaign in 22-23, but a lot of injuries in 23-24 meant he couldn't contribute much that season. Loss of form in 24-25 meant he didn't contribute much in that season either. But this season, it seems like he's slowly getting his mojo back. And if he does hit form... Alright, that brings us to the end of this video and also the end of a very, very difficult first 5 games. Next week we face Newcastle away. That will be the last difficult game. I was hoping we get about 11 points from our first 5 difficult games. 10 it is. But going forward, there will be some kind of breathing space that Manchester City didn't give us today because they parked a bus.